Hi there, my name's Rich Waterman. What I'd like to talk to you today about is standing out. So one of the biggest challenges that I faced when I was a coach, starting out, was like, well, I kind of wanted to help everyone with everything. And the problem with that is you're too generic. Now, in the UK, we had a store called Woolworths that I used to go to as a kid that sold everything to everyone, and that ended up going bust. I think probably the only real strong example that I know of out there that provides everything to everyone is Amazon, and unfortunately we don't really have the resource of Amazon. So as a coach or a consultant, or actually any service provider, it's like you always have this challenge of standing out. In fact, it's not even just standing out versus your competition, other coaches or other healthcare professionals or other consultants. It's actually people being aware of what you do. Now, unless you've got some amazing process or set of systems that kind of just blows everyone else away, is incredibly innovative, usually the reason that someone would engage you as a service provider is actually because of who you are as a coach, who you are as a speaker, who you are as a consultant, or any other service profession, because people tend to work with people that are like them in some way. So therefore, there becomes a very strong need to really start to polarize, to be very clear on who you are and what you think is important in life, and actually not be too generic. In fact, actually, you really want, it'd be much better to have 1,000 people that don't like you and 20 that love you than have a few hundred or a few thousand that think you're okay or that you're good. Because good just won't cut it anymore in the sort of modern digital world. So this is where I got very, very strongly attracted to speaking, because, if you are a very good speaker, and if you can communicate clearly who you are and what's important to you in life, then you can have a massive impact either on clients or on potential clients as well, because they get to know who you are. And certainly as a coach in the last how many years have I been doing it now? About 10 years full time, that I haven't found anything that works better to create the right clients for me than speaking. I think there's a couple of things that probably feed into that. So one of which is a lot of people will recommend you go networking and work with and look to find contacts that way. Well, I'm naturally actually quite an introverted personality, so like just doing generic networking just feels horrible, if I'm honest. Whereas I could go to that same event and have a speaking slot. Immediately it gives you positioning because you're seen as an expert in what you do because you've been asked to speak to this group. But also then it makes it much easier to have follow-up conversations. Certainly, again, as I said, it being somewhat introverted, and some of you will be surprised to hear that, but being on stage is like the most introverted thing ever because you're by yourself. But then people will come up to you afterwards and have insights or questions about your speech. So then that naturally starts a conversation around something that's valuable to them. So that's perfect for me. So one of the things that I've been looking at is really how can I help other service providers become really, really good at speaking, world class at speaking. I've been doing it, I don't know, well, I did it in my old job in banking, but decades I've been speaking for. I've been really focusing on being a professional speaker for a considerable length of time. And you know what? I think there's an awful lot of really horrific speakers out there. It's just like, it's about them. It's not about serving the audience. So what I've decided to do is to create a speaker course and a speaker mastermind around the course as well, to help people become much better at speaking, to really be able to communicate very powerfully who they are and what's important to them in their life, and actually speak to audiences and let audiences know that they understand what their problems are and that they might be able to provide a solution for them. If any of this is of interest, if you'd be interested in finding out more about becoming a better speaker, my programs, there's two of them. There's an online course, but then there's a mastermind around it as well. That starts the end of January 2023. So if you're interested, now would be a good time to get in contact. I'm starting to enroll on the course now. We've already sold a few spaces already. And just drop me a message and we'll talk. Bye for now.